Alright everybody, welcome back! So today, of course, we are taking a look at the F-16AJ, one of the new 4th gens that I got out of this patch. A little bit late covering this, but I hope y'all don't mind. Now, I did already talk a little bit about it on the dev servers. I'm not going to talk about the history and what's wrong with it, because nothing got changed basically from my last video. By the way, if you haven't seen that and you're wondering what the plane should actually look like, feel free to go ahead and check that. I'm going to have a link down in the description. Probably going to have it pop up on the screen right now as well. But either way, nothing I'm going to do about it now. I'm going to talk about how the plane actually came into the game and why it's still technically the best F-16 right now. So last patch, the one before this one, of course, we got 3 different types of F-16s. So we got the Block 10, the Block 15 ADF, and the Block 20 MLU. Now, the Block 10 does not gain access to Sparrows. That's the one that is just called F-16A in game. The Nets is also a Block 10 variant. So those two don't get Sparrows, but as of right now, they have the best flight model. They actually pull a little bit harder than the ADF. From what I understand, what I've been told, it shouldn't be that way because the ADF has bigger elevators, so it should pull harder. But as of right now, it does pull about a G extra over the ADF. So you gain that extra pull, plus you do get access to AIM-7F, since this is what the plane would have carried in real life. It would have carried 4 of them, not 2, but either way, you get AIM-7Fs and AIM-9Ls, just like the Block 15 and the Block 20 MLU, but you get it on the much better platform, which is the Block 10 F-16, which is pretty nice, honestly. And it also looks better, if you ask me. This camo is excellent. Great job with this, Gaijin. Better camos make vehicles perform better. That's why cars go faster when they have racing stripes on it. It's just common sense, right? Either way, you're going to run into a lot of situations where the extra pull really helps. Like you can see, instead of only hitting 9 Gs, I'm hitting 10, sometimes 11 right now, which is really nice. And you still get the ridiculous turn that the F-16 has, these lower speeds. Now, if I wanted to, I could pop air brake right here and pull around even harder inside of him, but I like maintaining energy, so I'm not too worried about it. This F-4J tries to kill himself, but luckily my missile ignores his flares because he continues to burn and hits him right before he hits the ground. By the way, please don't do that, guys. If you got an outplayed, don't just suicide at the ground right before the missile hits. It's not funny. No one finds it amusing, okay? Just take the L. If you lost, you lost. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyways, I still think the MiG-29 is the better fighter, personally, but this plane did also get a buff this patch, the F-16 in general. Its high-speed pull is much better than it was last patch. You're no longer going to be sitting there going pulling 6 Gs at like Mach 1.4, 1.5, it'll actually hit the 9 Gs that it's supposed to sustained. If you're slower, it will hit 10, 11, maybe 12 on low fuel. It does not have a G limiter. I know a lot of people are saying that. You can see right now I'm hitting 11 Gs at Mach 1.2. It will pull more than 9 Gs. It was just a flight model issue last patch is all it was. It wasn't a G limiter. Either way, one of the best radar missiles in the game, four of the best for now IR missiles in the game is a really nice combo, even if it should be a little bit better. And so this plane really is quite competent. Now I do wish I had a few more radar missiles. Just 4 and 4 would have been a nice option. But you can see these AIM-9Ls, they do not play around. They have excellent pull. They're second only to the R60M and the Magic 2 when it comes to pull, and they don't have the massive tracking delay that the Magic 2 has. Now, unfortunately, their flare resistance did get nerfed, so most of the time you're not going to have them tracking through flares. That big kill you just saw right there was purely because the missile was already super close to him once it was about to hit, so it was just too close in general. But you're not going to have the absolutely ridiculous flare resistance that these things had, just because they increased the field of view on the missiles now. So the Magic 2 still has the old AIM-9L flare resistance, so if that's your biggest priority and you don't mind the horrible range that the Magic 2 has, then that's a great missile. Personally, I like the extra range that the AIM-9L has. It gives me a lot more versatility. So even though the flare resistance isn't what it used to be, it's still good enough, and it's a little bit more flare resistant than the R60M. Now, what I don't think is good enough is this gun. They have killed the Vulcan. It used to be so good back in the day, and they've nerfed it at least 3 times. The damage is not what it used to be, and it also got hit pretty hard with the velocity nerf, so you get a lot of cases like that right there where there's really nothing you can do. Unfortunately, you'll hit them, you'll get a crit or something, maybe a fire if you're lucky. I do get a lot of fires with this gun, and then someone comes and steals the kill. So My KDS suffered in this plane, partially because of that, because even when I do get the hit off, unfortunately, someone will come and steal the kill. That actually happens later in this game as well. Another interesting thing that this plane did get, I'm not using it right here, but I will here in a little bit, is it actually has the radar gun sight that they've started rolling out to some of the more modern planes. It's not a lead indicator, they call it a lag indicator, and so if you lock someone up, it'll have the crosshair go behind them. So all you have to do is line the crosshair up on the target, and in theory, it should kill them. It is a little bit janky right now, and it kicks in way too far away if you ask me. I think it should only activate within like 2 kilometers. But it is a nice addition, and hopefully once they go ahead and iron out some of the issues it has, it'll be a really nice addition. Now, I do hear it does better in Sim, so that is something to keep in mind. But as of right now, to be quite honest with you, a lot of the time I find myself, just like with this F5 right here, just going in for a gunshot normally without the radar just because of how janky it is. It messes me up more than it helps me most of the time, to be honest with you, because I can easily hit a shot just like this right here instead of on fire, but if I had tried to use the radar thing, it goes all over the place. Now, if it's a side aspect shot, I will kick it on sometimes, but I wouldn't overly rely on it, is basically what I'm saying. Those gun skills that you should have hopefully developed as time has gone on will still serve you very well. So, overall, this plane has been quite enjoyable to fly, honestly, compared to some of the other F-16s I've played. Part of it is just the buff it got, and then I think this right here is actually where I go ahead and use the gun sight. You can see it goes behind him, and then I line up the crosshair on him right here, and nice little hit just like that. And this is when that kill gets stolen that I told you about, which is quite fun, just because the gun actually doesn't do damage anymore. At least it doesn't one-shot like it used to. So, now, the radar is one of the best in the game. It's probably the hardest pulse Doppler radar to notch. Either this, the Tornado, or the MiG-29, one of the three. I would say that this is probably the hardest to notch, because the Tornado's radar doesn't feel quite finished yet. So you will be able to pull off stuff like this where you can see he's trying to notch. I just put him off the side of my radar scope right there, and the missile keeps tracking, and I get a nice long-range kill. But I wouldn't overly rely on these long-range kills. The BVR is nice, but you're going to get more of your kills in close combat, which is what the F-16 does really well. So, either way, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I was pleasantly surprised when I played this thing. I didn't really like the F-16 last patch. It feels a lot better now. Not nearly as unfinished as it was when it came to the game last time. Like I said, I would probably still rather fly the MiG-29, but this is certainly a very fun plane, and if you already have the Japanese tree or you're looking to get a new F-16, this is probably your best bet right now. Either this or the MLU, which has the extra flares. So, either way, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all next time. So, peace, y'all.